Ever since I was a boy, I've loved this time of year, and especially the season of Advent. In Advent, everything comes together. On these darker, colder evenings, we begin to see the twinkle of Christmas candles in people's windows. We hear the Christmas music wafting over the airwaves. We sit down to write Christmas cards, another chance to express sentiments of love and affection for people we care for. Advent is wonderful. At the same time, Advent is challenged by the consumer-driven culture in which we find ourselves. So often it's difficult to keep our focus on the essence of Christmas and of Advent as a time for preparing for Christmas. And so it's good to pay attention to something St. Bernard of Clairvaux told us centuries ago. He reminds us that there are three comings of Christ. The first one was his birth in Bethlehem, which we're about to commemorate at Christmas. The final one, of course, is when Christ will come in glory at the end of time. But Bernard said, don't forget there's one other quiet coming of Christ between the first and the final. It's right now. The ways Christ comes into our lives, into our hearts every day, through one another, through prayer, through the sacraments. He tells us to think of our Christian lives as a road between the first and second coming of Christ. Listen to this. I'll read it from my notes here. Because this coming lies between the other two, it's like a road on which we travel from the first coming to the last. You've been behind an 18-wheeler with the sign, "How's my driving?" A good question for ourselves in the Advent season.